Comparing to solve problems. This is chapter 3, lesson 4. We are continuing our journey of how to recognize multiplication or division in problem solving, in this case, word problems. And so there are, looking on my notebook paper here, my scratch paper, my note paper, clue words to help us create an equation, right? Or really clue words to help us figure out, are we multiplying, are we dividing? And I've got a little note here. It says it won't always be multiplication and division. One of the clue words that we're going to be looking out for is times as many as, right? So the ultimate goal here is for us to be able to create an equation, a number sentence that has a letter for the unknown or a variable, right? So we have times as many as. Let's look at this first example here. Brian has been to a water park 4 times. Sarah has been to the water park 3 times as many times as Brian. How many times has Sarah been to the water park? Okay, so find that times as many as phrase in the problem. And once you do times as many, in this case, times as many, same thing, times as many, well, the number, sometimes it's going to be in word form. In this case, 3 is in word form. That's the first number in your multiplication equation. Okay, we know it's multiplication because it says times. So 3 times, okay, put your multiplication symbol afterwards, as many times as Brian. Well, our missing factor is Brian. How many times has Brian been to the water park? If we go up to the top of the problem, circle our number, we got 4 times. So Sarah has been to the water park 3 times as many times as Brian. 3 times 4 is equal to, and this is where we have to put a variable. We need to find a letter. Why don't we do W for water park? Right? You can really pick any letter as long as you stick with that letter for that problem. So, how many times has Sarah been to the water park? Well, that's our question. But in our direction here, write an equation to find the unknown. We did that, 3 times 4, and use a letter or a variable to represent the unknown. And that's what we did. So we followed directions. 3 times as many as Brian is equal to how many times Sarah went to the water park. Okay, W equals the missing member of this fact family. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, all right, let's look a couple more. So kiddos, this is your tutorial time. And so remember the strategies. Okay, I'm going to be circling the problems that you need to do. I'm going to tell you that you're going to need page 155 to use this tutorial. And once you have the page 155, once you have your scratch paper, let's get started. So we are going to do problems number 2. We'll do number 3. We'll do number 4. And we'll do number 5. Okay, so we're going to do all 4 of these word problems. Now, I am going to be using my scratch paper without folding it into 8ths. Okay, it is very helpful if you fold your scratch paper into 8ths. It'll help you follow along. We are going to do number 2. So let's look at number 2. We got Paul. Paul's drawing pictures, and Paul drew 4 times as many pictures. 4 times as many pictures as Dennis. Okay, so we have 4. Now look at our direction, write an equation. So look for your phrase, times as many, right? There it is, times as many. That's our clue phrase. It's got the word times in it. We're multiplying. Okay, so 4 times as many pictures as Dennis. 4 times as many pictures as Dennis. Paul drew 16 pictures, right? So I don't know what's here yet next to my multiplication symbol. So I'm going to continue reading my question. All right, Paul drew 16 pictures. So we know how many pictures Paul drew. How many pictures did Dennis draw? Well, if Paul drew 4 times as many as Dennis, we don't know Dennis. So let's use the variable d, lowercase d. 4 times Dennis equals, well, our large number here, our amount. Paul drew 16 pictures. Now, how did I know that? Because I looked at these two numbers. I had a 4 and a 16, and I know that 4 and 16 are in a fact family, right? I got 4, I've got something else, and I've got 16. 4 times what number equals 16? And when I look at my multiplication table, I see the missing member of my fact family is another 4. 4 times 4 equals 16. So the final answer is D equals 16. Okay, number 3, we've got Maria. Maria made 21 cupcakes. Okay, it's my number 3 over here. It's as if I folded my scratch paper. Maria made 21 cupcakes. Okay, remember to pause this tutorial. Give this one a try. You've got the number 21 in this problem. Okay, this is 3 times as many as the number of cupcakes that Mary made. So we got Maria and we got Mary. Mary made 21 cupcakes. Okay, I still haven't found my clue phrase for making my equation. I still don't know if this is multiplication yet. 21 cupcakes, and circle my numbers. Okay, oh, how many cupcakes did Mary make? There's my question. This is, oh, here it is, times as many as. Box your clue word, and I got another number in word form. Maria made 21 cupcakes. This is 3 times as many as the number of cupcakes that Mary made. So there's our clue word times and the number in front of it. Let's start to make our equation. 3 times as many as the number of cupcakes that Mary made. So we don't know how many cupcakes Mary made, right? So let's make our variable m for Mary is equal to, well, the 21 cupcakes that Maria made. Here again, just like 4 and 16, like I know that 3 and 21 are part of a fact family. Okay, I know that from reflex math. I know that from looking at my multiplication table. I know that from 3rd grade and making arrays that may have included the fact family of 3 and 21. What is the missing member of our fact family? 3 times 7 equals 21. So the fact family is 3, 7, and 21. And M, or Maria, made 7 cupcakes. Okay, all right. So the next one is number 4. M equals 7. Okay, box around that. Here's my scratch paper, number 4. Wendy has a dance class. Okay, directions, write an equation, use a variable for the unknown. Same thing, right? Same direction. We've got Wendy. She has dance class 2 days a week. Okay, awesome. James has a dance class 5 times a week. There's our clue word. Okay, 5 times a week. How many more times a week? Ooh, there's another clue phrase. See that word how? It's probably going to end with a clue phrase that you need. How many more times a week does James have dance class than Wendy? Now, we got to think about this problem. Are we multiplying? The word times is in there. But read how it's using the word times. It's not times as many, right? Our clue word, our clue phrase tells us that we're multiplying is times as many, right? So if it has the word times, but it doesn't have times as many, or how many times more, or how many times greater, right? If it just says 5 times a week, that doesn't mean multiplication. That just means that he's going 5 days a week, whereas Wendy's going 2 days a week. How many more, right? How many more times a week does James have dance class? That phrase, how many more, what does it mean? Pause this tutorial and write that right there. Does it mean addition? Does it mean subtraction? Multiplication, division? How many more? Take that one back to second grade, kids. Pause it. All right, what'd you put? How many more means subtraction. You're just comparing here Wendy to James. So they tried to trick you. They threw in the word times, but did you notice that it didn't necessarily mean multiplication because it didn't say times as many as, times as much, times more. Okay, so it is subtraction. How many more times, okay, a week does James have dance class than Wendy? All we have to do, 5 minus 2 equals W, right? Wendy, right? Or dance class. How many more times? 5 minus 2 is 3. That's a doozy, kids. They're going to throw those ones in there. They're going to throw those ones in there to really make sure that you're paying attention. All right, last one. There are 4 fewer white bunnies than gray bunnies. There are 9 white bunnies. How many gray bunnies are there? Well, how many? That's a tricky one. How many could mean a number of things, right? So let's look closer at this problem. There's 4 fewer white bunnies. Do we know how many white bunnies? We only know that there's 4 fewer than gray bunnies. So how many gray bunnies are there? We don't know. We got to find out. Oh, there's our white bunnies. Okay, so we've got 4 fewer white bunnies than gray bunnies. There are 9 white bunnies. How many gray bunnies are there? Fewer. What does fewer mean? Right? Fewer. Draw a line off. Put it there. Does it mean addition, subtraction, multiplication, division? 4 fewer. Huh. Pause it. What'd you put? Subtraction, addition. Fewer means subtraction. So, for number 5, we are going to take our 9 white bunnies, and because it's 4 fewer, right, subtract 4, and that equals G, or gray bunnies. 9 minus 4 is 5. G equals 5. It's a good one, kids. That's a good one. It's not always going to be multiplication here, okay? So let's pay attention. Let's be very critical thinking readers here about multiplication. And if anything, just remember, if it has the word times, it's possibly going to be multiplication, but it better have times as many as, times times more, how many times more, how many times greater, right? That is our clue for subtraction, right? How much more, how many more, how much less. Okay, those are our additive comparisons for addition or subtraction. All right, kiddos, there we go. Chapter 3, lesson 4.